10 terrifying players in NFL history. Welcome to our spine-tingling countdown of the 10 scariest players in NFL history. From the bone-jarring tackles to the game-changing plays, these titans of the turf have left their mark, not just on the field, but in the nightmares of their opponents. Join us as we journey through a lineup of legends whose presence alone could turn the tide of any game. Starting with number 10, brace yourselves for a walk among the giants of gridiron fear. Number 10, Weapon X. Step into the no-fly zone of Brian Dawkins, aka Weapon X, where wide receivers reconsidered their life choices. In his 16 seasons, Dawkins didn't just play defense, he was the defense, racking up 1,131 tackles like a human highlight reel. Selected for 9 Pro Bowls, his trophy shelf was as crowded as the backfield he patrolled. Part of the Hall of Fame and NFL's all-decade team of the 2000s, Dawkins was more than a player. He was a natural disaster in cleats. His career kickoff? A rookie season so impactful, quarterbacks started drawing crosses on their playbooks. For Eagles and Broncos fans, Dawkins was the ultimate safety net, both inspiring and slightly terrifying. Number 9. Minister of Defense. Reggie White, or as he was reverently known, the Minister of Defense, didn't just play football, he rewrote the commandments of defensive play. White's approach to tackling was less like a football move and more like a force of nature. Ask any quarterback who's ever mistaken the pocket for a safe space. With 198 career sacks, Reggie wasn't just a player on the field. He was the field's natural predator. Opposing teams didn't just plan for him, they wrote entire prayers. A dominant force on the defensive line, White's career was a blend of strength, strategy, and a touch of divine intervention. His legacy? A trail of shaken quarterbacks and a permanent spot in the Hall of Fame and fans' hearts. Number 8. Steel Curtain's Anchor. Mean Joe Green wasn't just a nickname, it was a warning label. This cornerstone of the legendary Steel Curtain defense turned the football field into a no-go zone for offenses. With Green in the lineup, quarterbacks had 2 options: get sacked or wish they did. His playing style wasn't just tough, it was like watching a bulldozer in cleats. A 4-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Green didn't just define the line, he was the line. Off the field, he was a gentle giant, but once he strapped on those cleats, he was the gridiron's boogeyman. His legacy? An unbreakable wall in Steelers history, and a permanent spot in the nightmares of the 1970s offensive players. Number 7. The Sackmaster. Deacon Jones didn't just play defense, he was the architect of the modern defensive terror. Credited with coining the term sack, Jones treated quarterbacks like they were on a clearance sale, and he was buying in bulk. His playing style wasn't just aggressive, it was like watching poetry in motion, if poetry could tackle quarterbacks. A member of the fearsome foursome, Jones didn't just pass through offensive lines, he bulldozed them. His legacy was not just in the stats, but in the very vocabulary of football. To this day, when a quarterback gets sacked, they're hearing echoes of Deacon Jones' handiwork, a combination of speed, power, and a lot of fear. Number 6. The Brick Wall. Ray Brickwall Lewis wasn't just a linebacker, he was the Baltimore Ravens' defensive maestro. From his rookie season, Lewis turned tackling into an art, leading his team in that category almost routinely. His 2000 season, a masterpiece, capped with Super Bowl 35 MVP honors. With 12 Pro Bowl selections, Lewis was less of a player and more of a football wizard, casting spells of interceptions and sacks. He was a mix of inspirational leader and fearsome warrior, making every game feel like an epic saga. His legacy? A unique blend of athleticism, strategy, and sheer gridiron dominance that redefined the linebacker position. Number 5. Silverback. James Silverback Harrison was the NFL's answer to the superhero villain, if that villain loved football and hated quarterbacks. Undrafted in 2002, Harrison bulldozed his way to become a 5-time Pro Bowl selection and a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Steelers. In 2008, he outmuscled the competition to be named the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, a first for an undrafted player. His piece de resistance? A 100-yard interception return for a touchdown in Super Bowl 43. A play so exhausting, Harrison needed a halftime nap in the end zone. Harrison's game was simple: hit hard, play harder, and occasionally take a breather after making Super Bowl history. Number 4. The Assassin. Jack Tatum, affectionately known as the Assassin, didn't just play football. He played it like a blockbuster action hero, minus the cape but with all the intensity. Selected by the Raiders, he didn't just tackle. He delivered cinematic hits that could have earned him stuntman credits. This hard-hitting safety turned the field into a no-fly zone for 10 seasons, collecting 3 Pro Bowl nods along the way. His playing style? Think smash-mouth football with a side of, did he just do that? While tackle stats weren't a thing back then, if they were, Tatum's numbers would probably break calculators. Off the field, a total gentleman. On the field, an adrenaline-packed thrill ride. Number 3. The Toothless Terror. Jack Lambert, the Steelers' middle linebacker, wasn't just playing football. He was patrolling the field like a sheriff in a Wild West movie. Known as the Toothless Terror for his iconic snarl, Lambert's presence was as menacing as his play. With 1,479 tackles, 28 interceptions, and 23.5 sacks, he wasn't just a defender. He was the nightmare every offense dreaded. Lambert, a 4-time Super Bowl champion, reeled off 9 straight Pro Bowls, claiming the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1976. His missing teeth, lost in a high school basketball game, became a symbol of the tough, no-nonsense Steelers defense. Lambert's legacy? A blend of ferocity, unmatched skill, and a smile that sent chills down opponents' spines. Number 2. The Enforcer. Dick Butkus, the Chicago Bears linebacker, wasn't just a player. He was the gridiron's grim reaper in cleats. Drafted 3rd overall in 1965, the Enforcer quickly became the NFL's most feared tackler, a title he earned not just by making tackles, but by making them unforgettable. With 22 interceptions and 27 fumble recoveries, Butkus turned turnovers into an art form. His tackling was so ferocious, even metal football sleds cowered in his presence. A 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 8-time Pro Bowler, and a staple on the All-Pro team, Butkus redefined the middle linebacker position. He didn't just tackle opponents, he sent shockwaves through the league. Butkus's legacy? A blend of brute force, unyielding spirit, and a tackling technique that became the gold standard for linebackers everywhere. Number 1. LT. In the realm of NFL terror, Lawrence Taylor, known as LT, reigned supreme. A true Goliath whose mere presence on the field sent shivers down the spines of quarterbacks. This New York Giants linebacker transformed every match into a scene of controlled chaos. His career, spanning from 1981 to 1993, was more than impressive. It was a relentless exhibition of fear. 10 Pro Bowl selections, 2 Super Bowl victories, and an unprecedented MVP award for a defender. LT played with a ferocity that merged skill with sheer intimidation. His legendary number 56 was not just a number, it was a symbol of imminent danger, making every game against him a daunting and adrenaline-fueled ordeal. For opponents, facing LT wasn't just a challenge. It was a battle against an unstoppable force of football nature. As we conclude our spine-chilling journey through the NFL's most fearsome legends, the shadows of Lawrence Taylor and Dick Butkus loom large, epitomizing the essence of on-field terror. Their legacy, a blend of raw power and strategic mastery, continues to echo in the hearts of football fans and players alike. Remember, in the NFL, courage isn't just about scoring touchdowns. It's about facing these titans of terror. For more thrilling tales, hit like, share, and subscribe.